Hello, lovely people out there. I'm Kate Hill, and I am here to give you the best, unbiased and honest commentary about the property markets, along with some really awesome hints and tips. And today's monthly special is the Sydney property market, so stay tuned. So just before we all get started, I want to ask you today's question. Are you buying in Sydney at the moment? Are you trying to buy in Sydney at the moment? And do you just keep missing out? If so, tell me where you're buying and what you're finding out there. And just really quickly, I recently gave one of my webinars with Terry Ryder. We discussed the prospects for a nationwide property boom this year and beyond. We got lots and lots of questions from you about specific areas and where the markets are heading, which ones will show the best growth, which ones to avoid. So if you are interested in where our property markets are heading this year, you can watch a copy of this video right here. Okay, so on to Sydney's property market. In my last property update about Sydney, it was just before Christmas. And at that time, the figures showed that overall the Sydney market grew year on year by 3.73% and 0.4% in November. There had been a notable uplift in sales activity as the year evolved. In terms of sales volumes, there were more growth markets in Sydney than at any time in the last 6 years. There were 93 suburbs with rising sales activity. The number of plateau suburbs had dropped and the number of declining or danger markets had halved. There were two distinct sectors doing really well across the greater Sydney area, the upper end of the market and the outer ring areas where first home buyers and other budget owner occupiers had been really busy. In the most recent figures to hand, there were 449 auctions held in Sydney, returning a preliminary auction clearance rate of 89.1%. In comparison, there were 270 auctions held over the previous week, and the final auction clearance rate was 76%. 1 year ago, 384 auctions were held in Sydney, and the clearance rate at that time came in at 77.6%. So, since the pandemic began, Sydney really has confounded all those pessimists out there with its price performance. Most suburbs had growth in their median house price in 2020. Apartments were a little less prolific, as we've reported before, but nevertheless, 8 out of 10 suburbs recorded median price growth. The overall average for the Sydney metro area was a really solid rise in the median house price, with many individual suburbs doing really well. A number of suburbs recorded median price growth above 20% in the past year. Getting down to some specifics, the Northern Beaches, an area of consistent and enduring strength, has several markets where median prices have increased by 20 to 21%, including Newport, Avalon Beach and Fairlight, as well as Manly Apartments. Now, in spite of the problems with high vacancy rates and lower buyer demand because of lack of travellers and students, for example, some suburbs in more central Sydney have had big increases in median prices as well. Take Darlinghurst, for example. The house median rose 20% to over 2 million. While the median apartment market was up 32% to over 1 million. Also at the upper end of the market, apartments in the Woollahra LGA have done really well, with median prices increasing by 20% or more in Vaucluse, Double Bay and Rose Bay. All suburbs with median unit prices in the range from 1.2 to 1.5 million. Now, coming to some of the more affordable areas, median prices rose 20% or more in Stanmore, in Petersham, in Camberdown. All suburbs with house medians between 1.5 and 1.8 million. Out in Western Sydney, where we are also looking at price growth in suburbs around the new airport construction site at Badgerys Creek, like here in Kingswood, for example. Now, out in the regions, you could say that regional New South Wales is possibly the strongest property market anywhere in Australia right now. Sales volume data shows that regional New South Wales, has more locations with rising momentum than any of the capital cities and any other state regional markets. 9 out of 10 New South Wales regional locations have delivered price growth in the past 12 months, with many recording double-digit growth in their median house prices. Again, in terms of sales volume, a total of 116 locations in regional New South Wales have rising markets, easily the highest number in 6 years. So this shows again evidence of people leaving the cities to move to these more affordable lifestyles, a trend which is sweeping the nation right now, and growth markets right across the state. But most notably close to Sydney, the #1 market by a considerable margin is the Central Coast. It is the closest sea change market to Sydney and is getting significant uplift, not only from the Exodus trend, but also because of the completion of the North Connex tunnel, which is shaving a good 15 to 20 minutes off the commute time. The median price for Wyong has risen 23%, while Ettalong Beach is up 70%. Others to increase by 10% to 13% include Umina, Narara and Wyoming. South of Sydney, the Wollongong, Shoalhaven, Shell Harbour LGAs jointly have 10 suburbs with upwardly mobile markets. Hill change markets close to Sydney are also rising, including the Blue Mountains and the Southern Highlands. On the rental front, unit rents in Sydney are down 5.6% over the past year. But in some more positive news for all those landlords, the rate of decline is easing across Sydney's central markets. In fact, Sydney's unit rents posted the first month-on-month rise in January. Rents are being pushed higher in regional towns, with demand spilling out of the popular spots like Byron Bay into neighbouring areas. Now, for several years, Sydney-siders have been leaving the city for a tree or a sea change. This is nothing new. It's just that the pace has increased since the pandemic hit last year. And this is pushing up the rent costs in popular areas such as the Northern Rivers, also the Southern Highlands. Popular country towns like Orange and Byron Bay have always been a pull for Sydney-siders, and now the pandemic has heightened rental demand in those neighbouring areas of those very popular spots as well. We are seeing strong rental growth in those lifestyle and coastal areas in regional New South Wales. So stay tuned on our channel for more property news from Sydney and New South Wales as the year progresses. We do give you the best commentary and content here on our channel, so please let me ask you to just quickly hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell so that you get all our expert hints and tips around buying, owning and investing in property as soon as we post them. If you're enjoying the free content and you are finding it useful, click on that all-important like button too. I really appreciate it, and I will see you again really soon. Bye.